So recently I've had a little bit of a rough time with football, played a bad game, had a couple bad training sessions, just not really feeling the love for football. And this is natural, it happens to everyone. If you're a young player, best believe it's going to get worse for you. I know you don't want to hear that, but you're going to have really bad times in your football career where you don't feel the love for football. You might even feel like quitting. It might be that bad. And I just wanted to come on here and say that it's so important to remember that these times don't last. Like if you're hating football right now or stuff's not going well, you're playing badly, it doesn't last. Honestly, it doesn't last longer than a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So that's point number one. And also the second thing I want to say is before you actually decide to quit or before you decide that football isn't for you and you hate football, in your next training session or your next game, what I want you to do is I want you to try as hard as you possibly can. Way harder than you've been trying before. Because if you're on a bit of a downward spiral and you're playing badly, what that will often lead to is you will actually start trying less, even if you don't think about trying less or you don't want to try less. You'll just naturally start trying less because you just don't have any motivation and you just won't do these extra bits. You won't do the extra run. You won't do the extra bit of recovery work because you'll feel bad about yourself. You won't want to play. You don't care about football, all of this stuff. So before you quit or before you make that decision that football's not for you and you're not going to take it seriously anymore, go and do a training session and just try so hard. And what I'm talking about here is team training. So just run, sprint for everything, sprint for every tackle, make every extra run, concentrate really hard on your 1v1s, just want it more than everyone else at training on that time. And look, you're going to look like a donut maybe if you're trying, if you're in a team where, it's not that serious and you're just it's kind of a Sunday team, it's a friendly team, like no one's trying super hard. You might look silly if you're just trying way harder than everyone. But trust me, if you are like that and you're trying way harder than everyone, you'll get way better results than anyone. And this video is more so about just not quitting because honestly, like the last couple of weeks, I've felt pretty rough about football, had a tiny little knock, which kind of put me out for a week. Then I've seen my mate get a bad injury, which kind of wasn't great to see. And then as well as that, played a couple bad games, played a couple bad training sessions. So I've been feeling pretty down about football. And the reason why I tell you this is not because it's like, oh no, my life's so bad. Because it's natural. And it will happen to you and it will happen to me again. So it's just super important to remember that. And just remember it doesn't last. And what I did tonight in training was I just tried way harder than I had before. And before, a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't trying. I wasn't like not trying. I wasn't going like, oh, I'm not trying today. Nothing like that. Nothing weird like that. But just you naturally fall into a rhythm of acting normal. But it's important to kind of have this kick up the arse and just remember that you need to work hard. You need to run more than anyone. You need to try harder than everyone. And that's what I tried to do tonight. I tried to put in more effort. And as a result of that, I feel good about myself. You got to come off the pitch every time being able to say, I put everything on the pitch today. I left nothing out there. I put everything on it. And you can come away and, even if you play badly and that happens, now at least you can say you tried as hard as you possibly can. There's no point in quitting saying, you could have done the extra mile when you didn't because you didn't. So just make sure you're trying as hard as possible because this is the big thing that a lot of people get wrong. They think they're like, they're putting in like 75% into football. Go and put 100% in. So if you're watching this and you've got training later or you've got a game later or you've got a big game coming up, whatever it is, and you're having a rough time, just try so hard. Like, honestly, just try so hard. Don't get beat 1v1 if you're a defender. If you're an attacker, 1v1. Get at them. Be aggressive. Be dominant. Want it more than the opposition. And run more than anyone. If you're a winger or a striker, your team loses the ball and the team's on a counter-attack. The other team's on a counter-attack. Sorry, couldn't speak there for a second. Sprint back. Work harder than anyone else on that pitch. And if you're a defender and your team's got the ball up the pitch, sprint up the pitch. Work hard because that is how you're going to get more out of football. And it will just give you that motivation that you might need if you're feeling bad about yourself. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope this little guide has helped. And let me know in the comments if you want any more YouTube videos, any requests, any topics that you want me to speak about. My program will be linked in the description as well. Go check out the Pro Player Pathway. I help students, I help young footballers, even older footballers get signed to professional academies using my training methods. So go check that out, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.